All right. Test.
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 3, 2.
What is up? Welcome back to Convincing Idiots, segment number 3. I'm Millennial Nick, along with Gen X Brian and Zennial Dean. Now, you guys listening or watching, perhaps on YouTube, may find this hard to believe, but believe it or not, the production value, right, that you're seeing on a screen right now, fireworks, balloons, thumbs up, all the things, believe it or not, what we bring to you on Convincing Idiots, the magic that we bring to you, is filmed just in the course of an evening. Just one evening. You might think this might be a week-long shoot or something to get this kind of perfection out of three gentlemen like ourselves, but nay. It is simply done over one evening. So to pay homage to perhaps trailblazers before us that paved the way, this evening on our main segment, we are going to discuss some of our favorite films, or whatever you choose, that take place, the story takes place in or around a 24-hour period. So, Brian, why don't you go ahead and kick us off? You have a movie that you would like to bring to the table on your personal Mount Rushmore of your favorite 24-hour framed films?
Yes, being a Gen X person, movie you grew up with, John Hughes film, not necessarily one of my favorite movies of all time, but definitely was a symbol of my generation in the 80s and all that. How about The Breakfast Club? Took place
That's good.
in a detention Saturday afternoon. I mean, most people know the film, so just really epitomizes an 80s movie without question. Great soundtrack, the Brat Pack in the film, good stuff. If you haven't watched it for some reason, go spend some time and check it out, especially if you like retro 80 type movies. But a solid movie, a lot of fun. So The Breakfast Club for me.
Fantastic.
Dean, what do you got?
Well, I'm gonna start with. I'm gonna go with the bottom here. I'm gonna go. This was an evening, well into the night, but it is Die Hard from 1988.
Yes.
Bruce Willis fighting off the bad guys during a Christmas party in Nakatomi Tower. Spends the evening killing bad guys and saving the day. So, what better movie than Die Hard, really?
Yeah. Fantastic selection.
Nikolai?
I'll give you an 80s movie. This was when this was brought up. This is the first one I thought of. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Takes place over a day. Very famous 80s movie. Certainly one that I grew up with. I saw a lot growing up, and I still love that movie. So obviously Matthew Broderick, Ferris Bueller's Day Off is a good one. Just takes place in that day in which he fakes sick from school and all his elaborate schemes to do so, and all the events that
Boy, do you love cheaters.
I love them. I just love them. I love them. The scamps. How can you be mad? Who's got it better than Ferris Bueller? Nobody. Ferris Bueller.
That's true. Well
Brian?
done.
Very good. Another great soundtrack. Dean, I'll just mention Die Hard was on my list as well. We have some overlap there. I read that takes place over around 4 hours or so, that movie.
Sure. That makes sense.
That's about it. So, yeah. So, my next one, Predator. Now, I didn't realize Predator took place around one day, but I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, they land in the helicopter, and you never see them sleep. Good point.
Yep, I have that one on mine as well.
Love that movie. One of my favorite science fiction movies, really, of all time, and definitely one of my favorite Arnold movies to boot. So, fantastic movie. Holds up today still. A lot of fun. Check that out.
All right.
Yep.
I'm going to go with maybe a little off the wall here, but I don't know if you guys remember the 1993 Michael Douglas film, Falling Down.
Yes.
Is about
good movie.
and it probably a guy in his like 50s or whatnot, but he'd been working for like a blue collar job that you ultimately find out he'd been fired from, and he kind of has a nervous breakdown, but like a breakdown, like he grabs a gun and starts shooting things up and starts killing people just simply because the quote unquote fast food is McDonald's, but not McDonald's. Did stop serving breakfast within the minute that he asked for it, so he goes crazy.
That was it,
and then just goes on a spree of just, again, he's not a murderous person. He's just trying to get through his day. Like, he's having a nervous breakdown. You find out his wife died. Robert Duvall is fantastic as the police detective who's ending his career and shift towards the end of the day. It's such a good movie. I watch it over and over as a teenager. But yeah, Falling Down was.
I haven't watched that lately. Definitely one of Michael Douglas's greatest roles. Yeah.
Yep, hands down.
He's in that traffic jam.
Yep,
and the cars aren't moving, and the flies buzzing around, and he just steps out of the car, leaves the car there, walks away.
He gives up at that point.
And that was it. That's one of those memes you see out there. It's like the older you get, the more you
get it. Yep. Like,
I understand how a guy could just fucking lose his mind. I just had it with everything. All this dumb shit. Yeah. Very good stuff.
All right, Nikolai.
My next submission for films that take place over one day, Dazed and Confused. That's a fun movie. Taking place the last day of the school year and a coming of age tale, and just it's really, I mean, it's aimless. It's an absolutely pointless movie. But it's, I don't know. It's one that I can't explain why I like. I think so. We've talked at length about, like, I feel that comedy specifically, or in general, movies that people like, have a lot to do with when you see it and how you remember it. And if you hold it, comedy's a weird thing. It's ever moving. And same with a lot of the quotes and things in Dazed and Confused. If I hadn't seen Dazed and Confused when I was younger, I probably would think it's stupid. But it's just, it's got a lot of great quotes in it. Like I said, there's no real point to it whatsosoever.
People will be saying that years from now about this podcast.
Sure, that's right. Yeah, that's true. It is aimless and makes no sense. But we are the Dazed and Confused of podcasts. So
I like that.
Maybe that's why I like it so much. But Dazed and Confused, is takes place over a day and one that I still very much enjoy. So
I hadn't watched that movie ever, Nick, until last summer. There was a night.
Really?
Yeah, it was a night.
What did you think? That's a great example.
I liked it. It was one of those nights I was sitting out back. I just set the projector on my own. It was a summer evening. It was a perfect. That was a good experience to watch it that way, in the quote unquote drive-in type experience outside. Awesome soundtrack. Early,
it is also set 70s. In a time that resonates with you as well. Even though it was made in the 90s, but it's set in a time that you relate with.
Yeah, absolutely.
What how did they do? How do you think they portrayed that era?
Well, I think the movie was like late 70s, though, frankly. So this was like high school kids in the late 70s. So I wasn't there. Okay. That's okay, but just I love the 70s decade anyway. I love the music and everything else. So
what did you graduate? You graduated in 79? 87.
87.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
18.
I'm more of the Breakfast Club. I was more of the Breakfast Club there.
Okay.
That type of graduation class there. But
Lincoln would have been more of the timeline, but all right.
All right, my next movie, it's one day, but although the one day takes place, could be thousands of times over and over again.
You got
Groundhog Day. Bill Murray. Love that movie. Again, arguably, it could be Bill Murray's almost best movie. Definitely one of his best, without question. Great movie. Great, lessons learned and everything. Just the premise is fantastic. So, a guy just wakes up and he's in the same day, of course, over and over and over again. And you don't really know how long he's in that day, but there's some people speculate it could be thousands of days where he's stuck until he achieves true love and gets out of the loop. So great movie.
God. I'm a god.
That's right. Yeah. Yep.
Next week at Trivia, Brian, I think our name for our team is going to be Ned Ryerson's Wet Shoe.
Mm. Well, that's cut. That's a deep cut.
Right?
That's right.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very good. All right. What's next for you, Dean?
Well, I got to skip one because that was on my list. So, again, fantastic movie. But I'm going to go a 1992 classic with gentlemen like, well, starred and directed Quentin Tarantino, Michael Madsen, Tim Roth, and you have Reservoir Dogs.
Yes.
They robbed the bank, and it just continues as a whole day of them trying to figure out where to go. Things go awry, and people start backstabbing each other and whatnot. One of Tarantino's best. I know it's early on, but still, and he's had a shit ton of all that from there. But yeah, Reservoir Dogs is awesome. I love it. Is it Pulp Fiction? Maybe not. Maybe not. But it's not far off from it.
No, I haven't watched that movie in years. I need to go back and rewatch.
Yeah, it's very good.
Movie.
Very
there was a tie to Pulp Fiction, of course, is Michael Madsen. That's the Vega. It's Vincent Vega's
Vega
brother.
brothers. Yeah, Vinny Vega's brother.
Mm-hmm.
They were supposed to do a sequel or a spinoff of those two, but I'm guessing Michael Madsen just rest in peace. But he didn't probably wasn't able to for many other reasons, right? So, yeah. Reservoir Dogs. Nikolai,
my next one is one that is near and dear to my heart, a comedy that I loved so dearly.
Airplane.
And, I would imagine Brian has seen this movie at some point. I don't know if we've ever really discussed it, but being a Kiss fan, it certainly is an enjoyable movie. Detroit Rock City. Yeah. The tale of four young teenage boys who want, or just it takes place over a day. They're just trying to get to Detroit to see their favorite band, Kiss, but they're against the odds. None of their parents want them to go. They think it's the devil's music, and they win tickets on the radio, and then they have to get there, and then they have to swipe a car to get there, and then they get into the city, and shit happens. And it's actually, I love that movie. I know that that's not like a highly accredited film that a lot of people typically cite as it, but I think it's a funny movie. I've seen it many times over the years, and every time it makes me laugh. There's, again, so many good quotes in it. And if you're a Kiss fan, there's a lot of little references to different things over the years with that as well. But they're just trying to get to Cobo Hall in Detroit, Michigan to see Kiss. And it's just a fun movie. What's Furlong? Edward Furlong is in Detroit Rock City. Yep. But yeah, just fantastic movie. Love that movie. So, have you seen that? You've seen Detroit Rock City, right?
I did. I saw it in the theater back in that was when the original Kiss members were in the band at the time, and they all starred in the cameo in the movie.
Correct.
Shannon Tweed was in it. Gene Simmons' wife was in it. There's a lot of different, like you said, tons of. Like you said, if you're a Kiss fan, you'll definitely enjoy the movie. If not, you probably find it. Okay.
It's something of a Dazed and Confused movie. I mean, it has more of a plot than Dazed and Confused, but I mean, it's kind of akin to that, I guess, as just a movie if you take the band out of it and that the Kiss fandom out of it.
Well, I've seen clips and I've seen small bits and pieces there, but I always looked at it akin to almost a past version of Superbad type movie.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. The bathroom scene is still fucking hilarious with there's in the girls' bathroom. You know what I'm talking about, right? With they're peeping over the stall, and they're like, there's like three or all, I don't know if it's all four of them or what, but at least three of them are like up on the toilet, and the porcelain cracks and breaks, and they fall down and into the stall, and the whole stall's rip off the wall, and there's just water shooting up, and this girl's sitting on the toilet screaming, and all the dividers are falling over and shit. It's a fucking hilarious scene. Yeah, it's a good movie. It's interesting. Yeah, Detroit Rock City. Brian.
Nothing like a quick felony to be funny.
Just a couple of teenage boys peeping in the girls' bathroom. Harmless, not hurting anyone.
Harmless fun.
Coming of age tale.
Sure.
That's right.
Emphasis on coming.
There you go.
Brian?
I think my favorite movie that takes place over one day is also one of my favorite horror movies of all time. We've mentioned this movie a few times in different episodes on this podcast. It's made my list on different subject matter. It's going to make this one as well. Takes place over one day, overnight, 24-hour period. The original Night of the Living Dead, the great George Romero. It just, if you know the movie at all, it's one girl makes her way, the zombie apocalypse goes into this house, meets up with other people, and it's just that course of that overnight to the next day, that entire film. Just powerful, low budget, but again, for some reason, if you haven't watched this movie, horror movie, go ahead.
One of the most impressive things about it, Brian, agree with me if you will, but like if you go back and watch it, right, the visual quality of the film is immaculate, especially when you find out that it's 1963 or whatever year
1968.
Came out. 68?
Yeah.
It almost looks HD, especially for that. Like it's a beautiful film. It's done in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is a beautiful film.
Yeah, fantastic movie in many aspects. Like I say, for that, the shooting, the story, the horror elements, it was the godfather of all the current zombie movies. Set the tone.
And
great.
The co-star was an African American guy. For then is kind of very passé.
You're right.
So he had the wherewithal to do, kind of, I don't want to say break barriers, but, it wasn't seen in, a lot, the pretty little white girl and African-American guy kind of teaming together to fight these zombies. So, kudos for them on that also.
Absolutely. Night of the Living Dead. Love it. That's my number one. Yep. Dean?
All right. Brian, I did have Groundhog Day, but I will replace that with.
I'll tell you what, though, if I may interject, if I could be in any one of these movies and live one of those days, it would probably be Groundhog Day because more bang for your buck.
That's true.
And that's a great tie-in because at this place you can get more bang for your buck. And if I were in Groundhog Day, I would make my way each and every day and have a brand new first-time experience every day at RPM Bike Shop, because our friends at RPM Bike Shop, located not so far from here in Carrollton, Ohio, have the finest selection of electric bikes for you to ride. And just imagine if you woke up every day and relived a brand new experience at RPM Bike Shop, what a world that would be. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Go to Facebook and type in that search bar, RPM Bike Shop, and you can see the lovely products they have for you. Or you can simply pick up the phone, call them at 330-808-7792 today to give them a chat. Or you could also go to their website directly, and that's www.rpmbikeshop.com. And there you will find the finest selection of electric bikes that they can offer you today. So make today the first day of your new electric bike experience with RPM Bike Shop.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
if you're listening only, Nick is trying to navigate his phone and laptop and everything with two Michigan Wolverine claws on his hands.
Right.
Yeah.
They're actually pretty good at typing.
Sure, they look like it.
Handling the phone, not so much, but the typing is good. Can really get a good range on the keyboard with these bad boys.
I've been curious about this all night. How do you piss? I mean, it's too small in your regular hands. Like, I can't imagine.
It really dwarfs it, Dean, like a lot.
That's rough. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so
like I'm getting jerked off like King Kong over here.
There's this thing in high school. Never mind. I'll tell that story later. All right. So my next one, let's stick with the theme of black and white, guys. And I'm going to go with Clerks. Clerks, once again, one day and one location. Well, I think they moved locations briefly, but yeah, Clerks was definitely groundbreaking at the time. Kind of the guerrilla, filmmaking. It brought out a whole genre of wannabes and lookalikes. Kevin Smith is a genius. I think he said he only has like one more movie in him.
I sure hope it's Tusk.
Something like that. I've never seen Tusk. Like, I want to see it. Like, I hear
so fucking.
It's so weird, and I want to see it. I should watch it. I need to watch that.
It, and it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, but I fucking loved it.
Did you see what was the one that they did? The Hoosier, the hockey one with
Yoga Hosers. Oh,
yeah, it was Johnny Depp's daughter and his daughter.
5 minutes max.
Really?
I couldn't do it. It's
okay.
Oh, it's so cringe.
Okay,
it's so terrible.
But yeah, Kevin Smith is just a genius. I mean, if there's a Filmmakers Hall of Fame, he's going to be in it. And it starts with Clerks. So
there you go.
Clerks is the next to last on my list.
For my final submission, or not final, but the last one I have written down here, of course, it is the greatest movie that takes place over a day. It's the greatest movie of all time. It's Jingle All the Way. I mean, my God.
Oh, Jesus.
The events of Jingle All the Way happen in a fucking
one day.
Yes, if you think about it.
It doesn't seem humanly possible that it could be.
But put all that comedy in one day.
It takes place in one fucking day. Jingle All the Way, of course. My God. He wakes up that day with the simple task of going to get the doll and meeting up with them at the Wintertainment Parade later. But everything and anything happens.
Works half the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, and all that. Yeah,
if you want to get technical, the opening scene is the night before he comes home. He misses the karate class to go to bed.
Disqualified.
Same deal. I mean, all these happen. Every one of these happens, and I mean, there's a scene where it's a different day. So,
Brian's his first one, or not first one, but Predator. Technically, the movie ends in the morning when they're
right. Well, and not
flying him out of the helicopter.
They get together the evening before they take off on the copter. Like him and Carl Weathers, like they see each other. That's the evening before.
So Brian's dumb. That's what we figured out.
Technically, let's say in or around 24 hours. The bulk of the movie plot takes place 24 hours. But yes. Right. So yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way.
That's I've named my 5. So
okay.
I have one more mentions. Go ahead, please.
Let me go my last one here. Because it is my favorite one on the list. I saved the best for last. The cast, I will not name all of them because there's a lot, but you got Tim Curry, Michael McKean, Madeline Kahn, Christopher Lloyd.
Yes.
It happened in one night. They figured out who the killer, watch it and find out, was in one night, 1985. Clue.
Yes.
Is a masterpiece in filmmaking.
I'll never forgive you for making me watch that fucking movie.
A delight in comedy. And just a joy of my childhood. Again, it's one of those that, if, like Nick said before, if I would watch it today for the first time, I don't think I would have the right or the same reverence for it. But because when I watched it, and how many times I watched it then, and it holds a special place in my heart. So, and Tim Curry, come on.
Arguably the best movie based on a board game.
Sure.
I think you had that. You had Battleship.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Battleship.
Yeah. That's true. That's a real. Yeah, that's a real.
Oh, movie, I know they made a movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait for 2025's Operation. We'll see how that goes.
Now you're talking. That could be a nice horror movie. Ooh.
Right? Yeah. There we go.
There you go. Yep. Trouble.
Yeah.
I don't know. Honorable mentions. You just want to wrap up
biography.
Yeah.
Yahtzee. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yep.
Just a guy should come to Yahtzee.
Yeah.
That's it.
For no reason.
That's it.
Just
Yep.
everyday life going on.
Yeah.
This guy pops out behind. Yep.
Yep.
That's
When you
four
yell
of a
like that,
kind.
that's right. Yep.
What? Nothing.
Yep.
Four of a kind.
I have a few honorable mentions. Just how you want to do that? I don't just name
Yeah,
what
just
you
throw it.
got.
Yeah, I got a couple.
Yeah, what the
Okay.
hell? I'm
I
all
got
out,
you.
but you guys just go.
Okay, I'm not going to elaborate on them, but these are movies that you know for the most part. Alien. I didn't think that was one day. I guess it is.
Yep.
Airplane. I joked about that earlier, but it is one evening, one
That
plane
is.
flight. Love that movie.
Yep.
You have to have a list with Kurt Russell. You have to include Kurt Russell. You got to find a reason to include Kurt Russell on something. You know what? I saw the thing. Someone said the thing. I'm like, is that really one day? It seems like it wasn't.
I feel like I feel like it's like we were just talking about. Like I feel like
starts in the
I feel like the opening scene is the evening before or something, and then shit really hits the fan the next
daylight.
day.
This day, the dog is running. They're chasing the dog in the early morning. Well, I'll tell you what, if that is indeed one day, for sure, it's on the list, no question.
Yeah.
The other one I have with Kurt Russell is probably one of the coolest characters he ever played, the great Snake Plissken, Escape from New York.
Yeah.
Just 24 hours before the attached bomb on him explodes to rescue the president through the former New York City, now a large city prison. If you've never seen this movie for some reason, 1981, goofy, crazy, ridiculous. Kurt Russell with an eye patch. That's it.
Sure.
Watch
Kurt Russell loves the 24-hour rules. You could say Christmas Chronicles as well, because that takes place in an evening.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go. There you go.
I'm going to get an honorable mention because I just looked out and saw this. The movie Bullet Train.
Great movie.
The recent movie Bullet Train. Is one of those that you see the previews, you're like, oh, I bet that's kind of good. And you never think about it again. It comes out on streaming, and then I watch it. I'm like, holy shit! I'm upset because like how beautiful it was shot.
Yeah,
that I didn't watch it in the theaters. Like it was a terrific, fun movie, a lot of fun. So Bullet Train.
I'm with you. That was on my list as well. Casablanca is one day apparently.
Ooh, yeah, very
great.
good.
Humphrey Bogart. I had Reservoir Dogs as well. Dean. Superbad. You guys kind of mentioned this too. That's over one day. And let's see what else I'm trying to see. Something else that was not already named. Dr. Strangelove, apparently. The great Peter Sellers. Dr. Strangelove.
Never seen it.
I hadn't watched it until maybe within the last year as well. One of those things where it makes all these great lists, and it's a parody of like nuclear war, basically. So
sure,
it's worth a watch for sure. Peter Sellers, it's a whole different. You think of Peter Sellers as like Inspector Clouseau or something like that,
right?
Completely different. He played multiple roles in this movie, so definitely worth a watch. Dr. Strangelove. That's what I had. Everything else you guys have already named.
I had Superbad and The Thing, so those are my honorable mentions.
Last one I have that I just saw that really, it was really a staple of my childhood. A movie called New Wave Hookers. It was a VHS tape that I found in my dad's drawer.
Takes place over an evening.
Just takes place in an evening. Yeah,
a couple hours maybe.
Yep, it was very good. Yeah.
Awesome.
I can go into the plot, but I think we're out of time for this segment.
Well, I'm just curious. We have a second here. So why, I mean, what makes these type of, the course of a limited day, is there something, are you more interested in this type of story? Does it depend on the story? What makes this type of film over the course of just a shorter time period, what makes this more interesting or intriguing to you in general? So any thoughts on that, Nick? Why don't we start with you?
Yeah, I don't know that it makes it more or less intriguing, but I do think I appreciate it. Like, it's interesting the way it has to be written, I guess, to fit everything in and to make it somewhat conceivable that, these things could, that this could, you're jamming a lot in a small amount of time, or the fact that it takes place almost in, depending on, in somewhat closer to real time. I were kind of focusing on movies, but certainly when 24 came out, that was like a really big deal because it was in real time. Like what you were watching every, all the entire hour that went out was 1 hour in the day. And when you'd watched a season, you'd seen a day in his life, and it was really just an interesting new way to frame a show. So I think you have a little bit of that with these movies. It's just kind of like it's, you watch a movie and sometimes it could take place over years. It could take place over days. It could, it's focusing on a certain event, but who knows how long it takes. So when you're focusing simply on a day, it's just kind of an interesting, different way to look at a situation. It's more compact and maybe focuses on some more details of the day, or I don't know. But I think when it's that compact of a time period, it makes it just kind of interesting. It's just a different. It's not some. I think it's less common, so maybe that's what makes it more interesting.
I like it, Dean. What do you think?
All right. When you have movies that stretch across, say, years or even days, you can get more of an epic scope, cinematically and storyline wise. You can tell such a broad story with so many different characters. But when you put something into just a day or an evening or whatnot, if you're doing like suspense, it's more suspense because the time is crunching. The time, that there's a certain amount of time that this needs to get done or that needs to get done. Comedy, I don't know if it matters much in comedy, honestly. I mean, the jokes are, I guess you can there's more callback to jokes that you could do maybe in comedies. Like if there's a comedy that's been throughout days, what happened a few days ago, why bring a reference from then? But if you're doing a party scene and this is the whole night is just a party scene on a comedy, you could maybe make, you could do callbacks. You could have the different characters that are all right there in that. So again, I might be stretching for the comedy, but at least for the drama, if it's in one day, there is a time limit. There's that sense of urgency compared to a longer amount. So,
yeah, I'm with both you guys. I mean, it just makes you kind of think about you think about all the you sort of think about it as the regular day of what you might do in a kind of normal routine day, and when something unusual or traumatic or whatever happens, all the stuff that can really happen in theory in one single 24-hour period really can be an extraordinary story if there's something out of the ordinary. You know what I mean? So it's just very, if it's done well, certainly it's a very intriguing story. I looked up these movies. I don't know about you guys, but I looked at the list of best movies in one day. There were a lot more than I thought.
Sure. Yep.
And some jumped out at me. I'm like, I need to watch these. I'm just curious here too. We have a second here. Did any movies jump out at you that you haven't seen that take place over one day that you've now maybe added to your list that you want to check out, or maybe not so much?
Well, the one you'd mentioned, Dr. Strangelove, was one that stuck out to me that I should watch. There's again some of these older movies that you feel like you should have watched. 12 Angry Men.
Me too. I haven't seen that. I want to see it. Yep.
I think that seems like it's
Henry
up my alley.
Yep.
So those two right off the top of my head. I'm kind of looking here now. Oh, the one I've never seen it, but it's been on the list. Phone Booth. With what's his name?
Colin Farrell.
Where he answers the phone booth and like cops are surrounding him, but he can't get off the phone, and that always seemed very again. That's probably my definition of suspenseful in that small time frame period.
Okay, Nick, did it jump out at you or not so much?
When it mentioned Bullet Train, that was one that I remember when it came out and it looked kind of cool. And then I completely forgot it.
It is cool, man. It's a very fun movie.
Just never thought about it again.
Yeah, you should watch it. It's one of Brad Pitt's best. He's very cool in it, very fun.
I agree. So I had three that jump out at me. One is, as you said, Dean, 12 Angry Men. That could be a group viewing. early film of Al Pacino. It has a lot of accolades. I haven't seen it. The Dog Day Afternoon. I guess it's a botched bank robbery.
Yeah.
Takes place in an afternoon. It's supposed to be one of Pacino's best. And one I find very intriguing, Rope. It's an Alfred Hitchcock film.
Okay.
James Stewart. It takes place. I keep doing the thumbs up there. Say that. Do it again. It takes place over. And apparently, I didn't realize they, at the time, they couldn't really make a single. His intention all along, Hitchcock, was to make a single shot film, but did not have the technology back then to do that because reels were only 10 minutes. So they literally shot throughout. It takes place over one shot, but they had to film 10 minutes, change the film, pick up where they left off, 10 more minutes. Apparently, that's how that entire movie flows. It's like in one single flow.
All right, now I'm curious. Okay.
Yeah. So there you have it. I want to check out Rope.
I'm normally slinging rope.
That's right. Yeah, and one of the film is it's not as common, but it does receive a lot of compliments and accolades as well. It's 12-Hour Tattoo. Right?
Tell me more.
I've heard good things about that one. Yeah.
You can check that out. You look up our final sponsor at Golden Heart Norton on Facebook, NORTON. Give them a call at 234-706-2982. Find them online also at goldenhearttattoos.com. It could be a 12-hour tattoo. It could be a 10-minute tattoo. Who knows? Depends what you want. Right? Make it your own exciting single-day experience in 2024. There you go. Gentlemen, we have also achieved another one-day experience to complete another magnificent, entertaining, phenomenal episode of the Convincing Idiots podcast.
What we did is we enlightened our lives and yours.
That's right. That's right. Especially those in Brazil.
Oh, definitely those in Brazil.
Always in Brazil. Yep.
Raise your hand if you love Brazil.
Sure.
I'll give you 2.
Whoa. Look at that.
There you have it.
Well, if you are in Brazil or any other part of the world for that matter, and you have access to the World Wide Web, why don't you head on over to Google and type in Convincing Idiots Linktree, LANKTREE, and there you can find ways to connect with us on all your favorite social media accounts. You can find all that information and so much more on our website. That's convincingidiots.wordpress.com. So for yet another successful one-day episode of Convincing Idiots, I am Millennial Nick.
Oh, I'm the Zennial Dean.
Gen X Brian.
Have we convinced you to join us for another day episode, and perhaps many more in the future, of Convincing Idiots? Hey there, if you like that video, or if you just like to watch us make fools of ourselves, please like and subscribe to this channel. We really appreciate it, and we hope to see you back there.